most studios we meet, doesn't matter if they're going broke or doesn't matter if they're at $1 million and they don't know how to get to the next million, they are working like absolute dogs just trying to survive.
If you're an ambitious little new business, what would happen if instead of that 20% growth, what if you put 200% growth, 2,000% growth?
10x is easier than 2x.
It's not like a default natural state.
No.
You've got to like shift gears to get into that 10x thinking mode. Like,
The 10x shift. You got any thoughts on that?
I have some stats on that. The ones chasing 10x do less, but better. That's why they grow 5 times faster with half the effort. And the other stat is the average small business owner works 60 hours a week to grow 20%. The smartest ones rethink the game and grow by 200% by subtracting complexity.
if you shoot for 10 times bigger instead of 10% bigger, it's almost never 100 times harder, but the payoff is 100 times.
If you were starting out, what would you do differently if you knew you wanted to build $1 million studio from the start, not just get an extra 20 members?
What would I do differently?
In order for people to go to 10x, they've got to kill some 2x parts of their identity, okay? What needs to die as part of the 2x version of themselves?
For me, is like,
All right, team, we are back. Hello, Soph. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
All right, so this episode is one that I really want to shock the audience with this one because we've just come off the back of, we've gone in the wild this week. We went out there
yep.
beyond our walls and met some people who aren't in our academy at the moment. And there's a couple of things that was really jarring for me, or for both of us.
Yeah,
For
very.
both of us. I feel like we kind of needed, and I say this with all love and respect, but most studios we meet, doesn't matter if they're going broke or doesn't matter if they're at $1 million and they don't know how to get to the next million, they are working like absolute dogs just trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like their whole objective or target is to not lose rather than playing to win. And there's such a big difference. So today's episode, I want us to kind of unpack and talk about that shift that's completely changed all the businesses that we've been part of, whether it's the first gym, second gym, or like Geronimo right now. Like it's happening right now. We've made, a month's worth of sales in a week. That's like literally happening today. But it came because of one thing, and that is a core belief that we believe in, which is 10x is easier than 2x. So I want this episode to shake people out of that survival mode. I want them to I want it to be the thing that kind of punches the playing small mindset in the face and inspires them to actually go, you know what? He's fucking right. Let's fucking go for it and set their BFOG. What's a BFOG?
Big fuck off goal.
That's the one.
Yeah, this episode can be your permission slip to dream big and it not feel stupid or unachievable.
Yeah.
So I almost want to pre-frame the episode with, we're going to talk about some stuff. If you're normally someone who sits in your comfort zone where everything's safe and you get to believe what you've always believed, I would challenge you to play with stepping outside of that for this episode and just be open. Be open to being a little bit brave and not thinking about why this won't work for you, but how it can.
We often get asked questions around playbooks and scripts and how would you do this and how would you do that and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, it doesn't fucking...
Little tweaks and...
Just tiny little tweaks, right? It doesn't
tiny
really
little
fucking
tweaks.
matter if you're applying it to a 2x business. If you're applying it to like just getting an extra couple of members.
Yeah.
Versus applying it to the right level of thinking. So we're going to come through some examples. I really want to go through some examples. I've got some questions for you guys. But the 10x shift, you got any thoughts on that?
I have some stats on that.
You got some stats?
These are the stats that we've been talking about a lot. And the first one is small businesses chasing 2x try to do more. The ones chasing 10x do less, but better. That's why they grow 5 times faster with half the effort. And the other stat is the average small business owner works 60 hours a week to grow 20%. The smartest ones rethink the game and grow by 200% by subtracting complexity.
Yeah.
I've got a spicy quote as well. Okay. This is actually from the book. 10x is bigger than 2x. All right. So if you shoot for 10 times bigger instead of 10% bigger, it's almost never 100 times harder. But the payoff is 100 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go, hang on, wait. Read that again in case someone was driving and just got fucking
This
hit
is
by a wombat.
this is by the bloke who, like, his job is literally captain of moonshots and CEO at X, right? So this guy is, he's right in there with Elon, right? His name's Astro. So if you shoot for 10 times bigger instead of 10% bigger, it's almost never 100 times harder, but the payoff is 100 times.
Fuck.
I'm having some flashbacks to when we sit down with the accountant. And look, yeah, I want to sort of pre-frame this with 10x thinking. It's not like a default natural state. I think you've got to like shift gears to get into that 10x thinking mode. Like you've got to build that muscle. You've got to break some beliefs, right? Yeah. But even when we sit down with Danny, like we show him some of our numbers and our forecasts, and like the accountant and him, he can't compute what we want to achieve and the time frame we want to achieve it.
It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. You know, like you said, 20% like over the course of a year. What do you think about 20% growth in a year?
Sounds fucking boring.
Sounds slow, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? If you build your business around something that's going to grow 20% year on year, like what's going to happen?
It's 20%. I will preface this by saying 20% year on year is absolutely respectable.
Oh yeah, for a mature business.
For a mature business. Yeah.
If you're an ambitious little new business, like what would happen if instead of that 20% growth, what if you put 200% growth, 2,000% growth? You know, worst case, you end up with 1,000% growth. That's pretty good.
Yeah, or 50, which is still better than 20.
Yeah, exactly.
What's some of the language that you hear at the front door when we get studios turn up every single week?
I just need another 20 members. You know, I just need to do this so I can pay for that. It's all about like scrapping and marginal little things just to pop their head above the profitable margin. You know, like they're not looking to hit home runs.
And if you, Soph, were working for a boss that consistently talked about just getting by, our goal is to just survive this month, or yuck, right?
Yuck. I wouldn't be working there very long.
Is that right? Why?
Why would you want to? Like, okay, if you think about it in terms of wanting to be on a winning team, it already loses in that respect. Like we haven't even tried to dream big. So thinking about it from a team level, yuck. From a leadership level, also yuck. I can't learn from someone who just wants to get by so they can pay their bills. And the third one is myself. Like if I'm investing my career time into a business that just wants to scrap it together, that's also going to have implications because there's no way that I'm going to be growing in the way that I want to if they can't.
Yeah. So if it's pretty hard to attract and retain ambitious young generation, right? Like who is a generation that we're all hiring at the moment.
Yeah.
If all you're thinking of doing is just getting by or incremental increases, okay? Despite the fact that all the stats have showed us that it's actually harder, it's counterintuitive to think that 10x thinking and 10x operations or 10x setting of your goals is actually easier, and studies show is more effective than just, another 20 more members.
Yeah, and it's not actually just about the numbers, is it? It's like about having a future that you can dream of and like set out there in the future that feels really scary and really exciting. That's the 10x vision.
The most people that are aiming for 2x, right? Let's get another 20 more members if I can just get by. If we could just get other 50 members, if we could,
nice.
It'd be really nice if we could just. And if you guys are listening to this, we're not throwing shade.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Again, the episode is. I want this episode to fucking shake you. Okay?
We just believe in you people. That's what it is. We can see
you people. What does that mean?
We can see what the potential looks like for someone who steps out of that kind of a mindset and into the one that we breathe through the academy, and that you guys breathe through us, and that you guys do yourselves. So,
if I look back at our kind of not just incremental changes, but like the exponential shifts that have happened right back from our very first studio. It was never because we sat down and said, we just need another 20 fucking members. Bro, we had to find 200 more fucking members. Otherwise, that fucking landlord was about to shut us down because that fucking...
It would have been game over.
Because of that letter that we got from him in the letterbox, which we never opened again. Because that 10x thing, like that 2x, like it never moves the needle. All that 2x does is just tweak the treadmill that you're already stuck on, okay? Our 10x shift in the first studio. Remember when we were broke?
I still have, sleepless nights about that, man. Like it feels like a long time ago, but it wasn't that long. That was like, 10 years ago, right? This journey we haven't been doing this for 100 years. Yeah. So the wounds are fresh enough for me to reflect on them from time to time.
And still kind of feel like it. We still see the scabs. They're not even scars yet. They're still scabs. Well, looking around the industry, And when we realized that we were getting all these people into the studio, but they're all fucking leaving, and we're like, in and out, in and out. And everyone's like, yeah, it's normal. You know, the normal kind of trial to member conversion rate's about 30%. Everyone's like 30%, 30%, 30%, 30%. And it was like the number that was breathed into us from the powers that be at HQ and everyone else in the industry.
No one knew the number for starters, but everyone was like vibing out 20 to 30% of people would go from trial
and I
and
feel
member.
like it was just kind of like, well, hang on a second. No one did. We're all fucking broke.
Yeah.
It was like we were sitting around like broke anonymous and just everyone's like, yeah, this is completely normal.
This is fine, guys. This is just the way it is.
And maybe there was a conversation around if you insert this message on day 3, it might bump it up by 32%. That's 2x thinking. Well, it took us to go, well, this is fucked. No one's going to make money if we keep hanging around at 30% trial to member conversion rate, which some people are still at right now, okay? And that's when we went, well, what if it was double, which is 60? And it's like, what if it was double again? Like, what if it was more than that? And that's how like 80% rollovers was born, was we went, well, for us to make the money that we need to get the landlord off our back and to actually make any money out of this fucking business, this doesn't need to be 50, it needs to be 80. So then the question became, what would need to be true?
Yeah. What needs to happen to make that big goal just eventualize, right?
And that's a clue for everyone listening or watching, because we know more of you watching on YouTube. We shout out to the YouTubers. What would need to be true? That is the unlock.
That's the frame, right?
That is the frame. What would need to be true? We're not saying it's impossible. We're not even saying it's possible. But just humor me for a second. What would need to be true? And that's when we just opened up the notepad and we just started like listing. Well, this needed to happen. Well, this needed to happen. Then this needed to happen. And then sure enough, like it got to a point where, now it didn't start at 80%. Like it wasn't like an overnight success, but fuck, it got so consistent that if there was a 70, so what would happen if there was a 70% wave?
Warning, someone's losing their job. Don't do it again.
It was like, it was so...
It was just not normalized.
It wasn't normalized.
It was never like, oh, we got close. Good job. It was like, well, what are we going to do to make sure that doesn't happen
again? It became an identity.
We can't miss
like
twice.
we are an 80% rollover studio.
Yeah. And the extra piece of context on this one, guys, is that this was designed around a process. We're selling an intro offer for 28 days. So it was the original version, the original goal was 80% of people after their 28 days would go into a membership. We started rolling people over in 21 days, then 14 days. I wonder, then 7 days. We're like, how tight can we get this? And we realized that it just took 3 sessions for us to roll people over at 80%. So
still on the 28 days, but 3 days into it.
3 days. That's what was happening. 3 days in, we're rolling people over.
And
80%.
then we started rolling people over at the induction. So that's just one example, right? The 30% to 80% rollovers. The other example was,
which is something now we teach in the academy, and people still question it. They're like, couldn't be possible. Could not be true. But now they're like,
would need to be true.
And then like let's just install it because it's going to be better than what you're fucking doing.
And that completely, like just outside of the KPI chat, that completely changed our lives.
Yeah.
Like instead of trying to get to 35%, to get to like fucking almost 3 times the industry benchmark, which then tripled our rate of growth, that then got us enough money to get the second one, like took us out of financial ruin.
Yeah.
Like let alone all the lives that we changed along the way.
Yeah, I was going to say
like
the same.
That's what really mattered. But even before that, like we were the very first ones to move away from doing a free trial. Like when everyone else is probably just trying to work out how to do the free trial better. I should be wearing my fuck free trial shirt, but we were the first ones to move away.
Yeah, and look, it was 10x thinking because we were in the F45 network back then. The entire like business model was based on 2-week free trials. And there was, we were in Glebe in Sydney, and we were surrounded. They were like, you could throw a tennis ball and hit 7 F45 studios, and they were all doing 2-week free trials. And we're like, you know what? This is like, we need to make some money. We need to qualify these leads. We need to like start charging. And you know what? We did a bit of 2x thinking at first, right? So we were like, $2.
$2.
It was $2. $2 was our first number.
Ask us why.
Why?
Because
it was the lowest amount of money you could sell an intro offer for. So
okay, to get their card details.
Just to hold the details. Which
That's
was
so gross.
So it was like a frictionless.
So was it $2 for how long?
$2 for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So that was our first version of it.
But it was still not free. Like we were like,
it wasn't free, but it was
It was a
still.
black sheep.
I wouldn't give us a tick for 10x thinking on that. But as soon as we realised it wasn't actually slowing down our lead flow and they're actually better quality leads, we went from 2 to 10 to 20 to 50 to 100, all the way to 250 in the space of about 2 months. That was not even 10x. It was like 100x thinking. Like that happened really quickly.
which like you think now, like, and then we invented the Kickstart. You think now, like, the Kickstart's been running in more countries than I've been to.
Yeah.
In different modalities, different types of studios, and half of them haven't even paid us to do it. Good on it. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like, but it's worked, right? Like, that's where that came from. What about even, I think there was 10x thinking around like how we shaped the studio manager's role. Still to this day, like 2000, whatever year we're in, we meet studio managers that can't get to the thing because they're too busy doing shit they shouldn't be doing. And it's controversial. But right back in 2015, 16s and 17s, I can still remember the job ad we wrote, the ultimate studio manager, right? And we basically ripped out all the bullshit that we didn't think was the value part that a studio manager would give to the studio or for the members, right? Ultimately, a studio manager's role should really just be these 3 KPIs: 80% rollovers, sub 5% churn, and generating organic leads from the studio. Everything else we gave to a VA. And this was back in 2014, 15, 16.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
What year are we in now?
2025.
Do we or do we fucking not have almost mild arguments with studio owners
Oh, yeah.
that are paying for the advice about kicking and screaming about having a VA? Like,
Yes.
I can't even relate
I know.
to it because we did it 10 years ago. It's not even new anymore. Like, I understand that there's a letting go situation and there's a whole fucking ceremony people need to go through. And thankfully, I'm not one of those types of personalities. I probably let go too fast.
What do you reckon about that, Soph?
Doesn't sound like you.
hospitalpass.com. But did you remember logging into MindBody?
No. Oh, only to check my membership number.
Yeah.
On my phone.
But do you remember rollovers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you remember, could you still roll into a studio right now and get that studio down to sub 3% churn?
Oh, yeah. I would love to, actually. I would love to. Yeah, I would be able to do that. No problem. Get me to log into MindBody? No. Run a report?
Could you
No.
process a pause for someone?
Fuck no. And I genuinely couldn't. I could do an attendance analysis, because I got the VAs to teach me that sometimes just to look at things, but don't know how to do anything membership related.
But again, like I said before, like that shit doesn't move the needle. That's the key thing. Like just spend that time in the sweet spot and move the needle, get the results.
Talk us through what would happen when a studio comes and sees you for the very first time for their very first session with you.
Yeah. So when they get to me for a blueprint, we go, all right, you've had a few, results so far. You've done the onboarding. Happy days. What is your big fuck off goal? Let's go zoom all the way out and then we'll bring it back into the next 90 in the next 30 days. And still, even though we work with them on this through the onboarding, they will go, oh, I think just 200 members, 200. And then I'll go, all right, well, what's that in revenue? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, and then we unpack that a little bit and I go, okay, how much do you want to be making and how much does the business need to be making in profit? Like you obviously opened this thing up and you had an idea of what was going to happen. What is that? And then we wrestle with it a little bit and then we figure out, okay, well, 200 members is actually like a really small amount. Like you could actually be doing way more than that. And then, do you think that's realistic? And then we break it down. So, 20 leads, 7 sales, and 6 rollovers with 1 or 2 cancels. You'll be there by November. What? Like they cannot believe it. But then they get this like flush of relief and like excitement that I can do this. Like I can actually do this. I didn't realize I could actually break it down like that, or they'll go, like I just like to get to 180 members. And for me, like it depends on what kind of studio that is, but get you there next week. So I'll ask, is that capacity? Is that you at your top range of like dream business? I've got all the people in it that I want. I've got the involvement that I want and I'm making how much I need to for financial freedom. And I just, that's just above break even. What are you doing?
And then you go, yeah, how many can you fit? And they go 350. Go, what about 350?
Yeah,
And they go,
exactly.
oh my God, that'd be amazing. You go, well, why don't you
Yes,
just start with
exactly.
that?
Yeah, I said big fuck off goal,
Yeah.
not what would
Like,
be
you said
nice.
dream number,
I think
not survival.
they're just, people, that's the way they're wired. So they just sometimes need someone a little bit more ahead of or more conscious than or who has seen it more to pull that out of them and call them forward. And they just love it. Like that moment, I think, is just so special to them because then it goes, oh, and what does, like, if I can have that many members and I'm going to be able to go and do this big dream and I can buy the house and I can pay off the car and I can go on the holiday.
It's
and all
almost
this
like
stuff.
the blood comes back
I
into
love
their
it.
skin and like
I love
color and sparkle comes back in their eyes. And then you go, dude, it's just,
Because
all you do is this.
what that moment is for me is like, you're going to be the best leader you can be now. You're going to be a leader worth following. So you're going to be able to impact so many more people to do the exact same thing that we're doing on this level. But yeah, like it happens all the bloody time. And look, the first blueprint, maybe we set a target and then they go off and execute and then they realize there's actually way more that they can be doing. And we expand their belief around what might be possible in their capacity. So that becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And it becomes eventually more about where we're going and what we're building as a movement rather than just how much money we need to be making. And that's really special.
Yeah. Big thing that one of our coaches said to us is like you either live by design or default, right? So the default is the 2x, right? The design is the 10x. And then breaking it down, like you just said then, sometimes it's actually not that scary.
Guys, it's usually a sale a day.
Yeah.
Usually it's like 6, 7 or 8 sales and 80% rollover and a 5% churn. It's so doable.
So give us an example.
So we've got a CrossFit studio that we're working with who, when they came to us only a few months ago, they just wanted to hit 100 members by the end of the year. Just 100. So anyway, they've hit it within a 2 or 3 month period. So we're not even halfway through the year, June not even upon us, and they've already hit 100.
Yeah.
But not only that, let me get the message up.
That's not even the best bit.
The best bit is now they have this massive vision that's possible because of the numbers that they've been hitting. I want to read it out. So they're building Happy HQ. So, I mean, shout out to it's CrossFit Happy. So that's why that's so fucking sick. They're building Happy HQ, a flagship home for holistic health where physical strength, mental well-being, and community connection come together under one roof. A place they own, lead, and grow into the most trusted health hub in their region. Not just CrossFit, physio, mental health, community connection. Like, that's so fucking epic. And I don't know if we're allowed to say that because I think they're still under contract on some things. But that's 10x thinking.
Should they do that or should they just get 100 members? What do you think?
No, just another 20.
Just another 20.
Like the impact, how exciting is that to wake up every day and be able to say, I'm building Happy HQ? Not, I'm just trying to get another 20 members.
So, like, Sophie, if you represented like all the staff,
Yeah.
right? If we represented the owners, so if I was owner A and you're owner B and you get a choice, and I know this is going to be like a bit fucking Captain Obvious, but if it's so fucking Captain Obvious, then why isn't everyone doing this, right? So if I'm 2X, right, and you walked into a job interview, same day, my job interview, his job interview, right, and I'm like, and you ask me the goal, and I go, look, mate, I'll be happy if we just got another 100 members this year, and that'd be at least better than where we are now.
Do you know what's scary about this is like maybe it doesn't happen in the interview, but there are definitely conversations that happen that are even worse than that. Like
what?
I've taken out another mortgage so I can fund the business. So we have to get another 100.
Yeah, that definitely.
That's fucked. Like
Despo is not 10x.
Your
It's not
financial obligations are not your staff's fault, and that is not a frame to come through. Anyway, that's just besides the point. But that's 2x thinking for sure.
Yeah. But what I said, is a very normal, reasonable thing that we hear all the time, right?
Yeah.
Versus where right now we're at 200 members. The national record is 300, so we want to smash that this year. And I actually want to open 3 more studios. And there's probably scope for superstars to grow into some kind of role across the studios in a high performance capacity.
Tough choice. Yeah. Obviously 10x thinking. Yeah, the reason why is because
what if I'm offering you $5 more.
I don't give a fuck. Like, you're offering me a future. For anyone who's listening, not watching, I was pointing to Ben saying that.
Not those, yeah.
Yeah.
The 10X
Not Mr. 2X
thinker,
over
yeah. Yeah.
And this is the thing that I want everyone to grab. I'm going to go right down the middle here, right? Athletes don't wake up at 4 a.m. and train every fucking day for 4 years to just get to the Olympics and hopefully not lose. They get there to win gold. So that's how you should run your business. Like, aim for gold. Don't just aim to not come last. And it's a completely different energy for yourself, for your team, for the energy you bring into your business. And it's actually fucking easier. It's not just a bit of like these ones, bet your chest and a lot of hot air and like not do it. It's like, no. It's actually easier.
It's like as a business owner as well, I find it more fun. Like, it's obviously way more challenging, but it's fun. Like when you're moving fast, you're solving like problems at scale and then new problems versus just doing the same thing over and over and over again to try and eke out a 10% gain.
That's the thing. It's like you said, it's more challenging. Like, it's new challenges. It's not the same. Like, they're both challenging. It's the same thing as like, it's challenging to be overweight and unhappy. And it's also challenging to be in a calorie deficit for 18 weeks. Like,
Choose your hard.
Exactly.
So let's kind of...
Can you say your quote? I know we say it all the time, but like, I think vision...
without traction is hallucination, and traction without vision is burnout.
Exactly. So if you're feeling burnt out and you don't have a vision, start there. If you have a vision and you've got everyone excited about it, you need to have traction. So you're not just delulu like, yeah, we're going over here, and it never happens, because that's just not going to last.
Yeah. I know we've leaned this to people who, you know, just another 20 members, but the same goes to people who are killing it with one studio and they're kind of spinning their wheels a little bit. Not sure what they should do next. I'll tell you what the trap there is. They start fiddling around with their business and start self-sabotaging, right? And if you're one of those peeps that you're already at $1 million, you got one studio absolutely cranking, but you don't know what to do next and you're waking up with no purpose, I'm speaking to you, right? And we meet a lot of them. We did a VIP session down in Melbourne with absolute legends.
Before you open the door, what was their big fuck off goal?
Well, the only thing so Ash called me on the way in, right? And she said they want to go from 1 to 5. Right?
That's pretty good.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, 1 to 5 in 5 years.
Okay. Yep.
That's like smart goal, big. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Except that they were playing small. Within about 42 minutes of being in this VIP session with them down in Melbourne, with their entire team around the boardroom, I knew these guys were built different. And then they produced this notepad that they've been writing on for a few years, like Scratchpad, right? Which was really cool to see.
There was drawings of the space that they were setting up and just manifestos
like
over a bottle of whiskey, I think they said.
Yeah, full BTS of like what we're going to do. Bro, even like the layout of the like the gym, the gym that they set up. But I saw something that I held them to, which was the actual goal that they kind of lost sight of somewhere along the way. The actual goal was to go from 1 to 100.
Fuck.
So I said, hang on, you just said you wanted to go from 1 to 5. So where did you fucking... Where did
what happened? Yeah.
Where did you lose sight of that? And they just went, oh, I just didn't know it was possible. I said, what made you think that? And it was like, well, because we're struggling with just trying to get from, you know, just this one right, and we're thinking like 5's going to be 5 times harder. And I said, what if it wasn't? And I said, what if it wasn't 5 times harder? And in fact, if you were doing 5, you might as well do 100. And then, mate, like these, and they're big boys, like they made me scared, right? And they, like, when we left that room, like everyone was so fucking charged up. And again, it's not just a bit of hype. Soph, can you report back since that meeting, what has happened to their business?
They're at a record number.
Get
revenue
fucked.
And member number. And just for all of you naysayers out there, their intro offer is $1,700.
Hey, get fucked.
And they're hitting conversion rates.
And we're going back down there in a couple of weeks' time for the grand opening of number 2, bro.
Bullshit.
How sick's that?
That is awesome.
How sick's that? How sick is that?
It's
I
so
just
fucking cool.
absolutely love it.
I love working with that team.
So for everyone listening, we're all giving you a big fucking hug and a big fucking bum tap and just going, get out there and do some 10X bullshit, right? Do some 10X.
Why not you? Why not
you?
Like, it's like sometimes we see these people who, look, I want to have some empathy and just go like, We've all been there. But if you're being a victim, you can actually choose to become a victor in this story and not let your old identity of what has happened to you shape the future.
That's the question I've got for you.
That's
okay?
your permission slip here.
For both of you, in order for people to go to 10x, they've got to kill some 2x parts of their identity, okay? What needs to die as part of the 2x version of themselves?
My favorite quote for this is that your new life will cost you your old one.
Shit.
It's identity. I can get real and say, you actually leveled with me. I was nervous to go back to the gym after I had been through therapy for the eating disorder. And you said, that doesn't need to be you anymore. That's not your identity. And it was such a shift and a realization for me. I was like, so true. Why would I let that hold me back? I've gone through all of this just to stop there. And so I actually do see it a lot with studio owners. They'll often, it's just hard. I've been screwed over, or this hasn't worked, or that hasn't.
Still talking about COVID.
Fucking.
The 2020
well, is fucking complaining working for you? You need to let that go. It's like having someone be a toxic person to you and then never being friends with someone again because they might be toxic, or same thing with an ex. You got to let that shit go. Otherwise, your energy is the one that suffers. It's no one else. What do
you reckon is one more thing that they need to stop?
I don't know if you know you're saying this, but you sound like you sound like you're reading out of Harry Potter. Some the old one has to die for one to live, right? So it's literally, it sounds a bit dramatic, but the 2x version of yourself has to die, right? And where we both saw this, at the ground level, cast your mind back to 2014,
yep.
A bloke with a backwards baseball cap was calling you up about buying into a franchise.
Yeah.
I went to a coffee shop in Paddington, saw some numbers on a graph, right?
Yeah.
So we met Deutsche and Gilly really early on in the F45 thing, and they had no interest ever in having 1 or 2 or 20. It was always 100, 200, 500
countries.
Countries listing on the stock exchange
with Flowrider.
Yeah, and then they're there with Beckham, Greg Norman, Flowrider, and
say what you want about the network, but they actually got to that point.
They actually got to that point. At one stage, it was a $1 billion valuation, which is fucking crazy.
Mental.
They were never short of vision and ambition. Some of the execution wasn't great, but but you can't fault them on their dream. And it was magnetic. If you were in their orbit, it fucking pulled you along.
So exciting. Yeah. Because most people are sleepwalking through life. It's just that one shining light.
So we've worked with more fucking studio owners than we've probably had hot dinners, okay? And the question that we ask them is why are you stuck? Now, what we can almost predict, that's kind of a trick question for us, because all that question is a predictor question. The ones who blame the economy, Trump, the tariffs, the exchange rates,
their ex, their staff,
COVID, lockdowns,
inflation,
all those ones,
the
HQs, they're the ones that struggle to make it. The ones who start by saying, it's me, they're the ones that we all in the background go,
blame equals broke.
So the big punchline here is blame is the common denominator of failure. Now, if you're sitting around talking about all the other bullshit, the reason why you're doing that is because you don't have to change. You look yourself in the mirror and you don't actually have to change. Once you realize that actually 10xing everything, if you want to 10x your business, you personally have to 20x. That's when the rest of it becomes easy, because you've accepted your actual mission, and that is the 20x. And shout out to all the owners out there and all the leaders out there of whatever fucking business you're in. If you're waking up every single day, you're doing your deep work, you're doing your non-negotiables, you are 20xing yourself, even in the darkness, even when you don't want to, and even when no one's looking, you're the ones who are going to make it. And you know what? Everyone in your team is lucky to be in your orbit.
Yeah,
Jesus. So questions for you both before we bring this bad boy home. If you were starting out, what would you do differently if you knew you wanted to build $1 million studio from the start, not just get an extra 20 members?
Well, I'd read that book for starters.
10x is it.
10x is bigger is easier than 2x. And then I'll throw my mind back to when we bought our studio. It was given us the actual the growth line was given it to us. It was you only need 2 or 3 members a week, and in 6 months' time you're gonna have 180 members, and you charge them $60 a week. Like I'd throw that model out the window straight away.
Yeah.
I'd throw that model out the window straight away.
Because it was just
a
incremental.
linear, incremental and gradual. So I was like, okay, cool. And like, yeah, again, back when we bought our studios, like, cool, okay, great, 2 free trials, and it was slow. Like, how I do it now is like, okay, cool, we're going to open with 150 members.
Yep.
So just fucking do whatever we needed to do to open with 150 members.
Yeah. And that just gets rid of break even, right? Like just profitable open straight from the start.
Yeah, from day dot, we're making some money, and then so cool. And then it becomes about finding the next 150 as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And then going again.
What about you, Safe? What would you do differently if you're looking for 350, just to give people some tactical kind of bits and pieces, versus just another 20?
Well, with what I know now, I would definitely set the target and reverse engineer exactly down to the day how many of everything I needed, lead sales, rollovers, how many cancels I was allowed. And then without getting emotional about it, I would just track that data and do what was required of me. And a lot of the bullshit that people do ain't helping. So like I would just strict diet of that. And yeah, I've mentioned this before, but again, second time, shout out to Mo, who hit his best month ever, and he continues to. He sent a message in the other day that just said, the more that I hang out with you guys, the more I realize it really is about just doing the boring shit over and over and over and over again until you're really good at it. And it's exactly what's working.
Mixed with people who see a bigger version of yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. I think the most dangerous people in your life aren't actually the toxic ones, because the toxic ones are easy to spot and you can get rid of them. I think the most dangerous people in your life are the people that are okay with you being mediocre. These are the ones that give you that comfort when you've
I agree.
missed your goals, when you're being a lesser version than what you're truly capable of. Like the ones that don't see a bigger version of yourself, the ones that don't hold you to standard. When they come into our world, like we are so big on standards and non-negotiables and seeing a bigger future in every single person. We see a bigger future in you. We see a bigger future in each other. Like we see a bigger future for all of us. And that's what we're going to operate at and hold people to that sort of standard. Everyone else out there, we saw it this week, Soph.
I know.
We saw it this week when we went and did a network-wide workshop. A whole fucking network.
Yeah.
Within about 15 minutes, we were looking at each other going, what the hell's going on? Like the language was like, I needed to have it. And they knew it too.
Yeah.
Luckily, by the end of the day, they'd seen the light, right? But it was almost like it became this shared trauma that they bonded over, that we're just going to go for survival. So what the fuck is this? So how do they shift this identity? The identity reframe that I want to talk about here is like the 2X version of you is fucking tired, dead,
get rid of it,
gone. Okay? Turn it off. Kill it. Get rid of it. It's behind you now. It's not your season anymore. The moment you listen to this fucking episode, don't just skip to the next one, right? Or scroll past this. Fucking stop. Fucking stop.
Do what you need to do. I have one of my mentors, she said the day she went from, this is stupid, but it's like, it works. The day she went from blonde to brown hair, she like, that past version of her, she killed her.
Same.
You shaved your hair off.
No, real talk though, but when I had the heart, like,
yeah,
I almost, like, so Dozer 1.0 died that day.
Yeah.
Dozer 2.0 is still here. And this isn't just about business, by the way. Like, people need to 20x themselves, right, before the 10x can happen in the business. So the best identity reframe we can kind of help people with is that what would need to be true.
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of our company values is don't just play the game, change it. And if we think about what we've done back at the studios ourselves and what we do for our people that we love so much, it is just, it is where can we change the game here? Where are you tinkering with the 2X version, tinkering with the machine, rather than just completely replacing it or eliminating it and just not doing it, right? And just doing something way bigger.
Yeah.
The BFOG. And then applying 100% clarity to it, 100% belief, 100% of the time, all the time, What were we going to say?
I was going to say a question I love asking is if there were no rules and no consequences and you were really, really brave, what would you do?
And then just get them all to just write it down.
Not how, not why I can't, not why I can, what?
It's genuinely the most favorite thing that we do is get in a room with ambitious individuals and then do these things that we call these VIP sessions.
Yeah.
Like we absolutely love doing these.
So fun.
Because if you're not sure what that is and no one's really asked you this in your circle, like no one really thinks this big, that's okay. Like we are here. We love doing this all day long, right? And we're moving into our new studio.
Absolutely.
On Monday.
Fuck yeah.
And so we hold these VIP sessions all the time. So if you want more information on that, just find me on Instagram, hey.dozer, and just message me VIP, and then we can talk about how that works. But like you're going to walk away from that session with such fucking excitement and clarity around, oh my God, I never even fucking realized. Even my mate who does the elite coaching for little rugby players. He came and did a VIP session at the boardroom the other day, and he walked in thinking that he did rugby coaching for kids. I went, no, you don't. He goes, what do you mean? I go, that's not what you do. He goes, why not? I go, think about it. And then over the next 30 or 40 minutes, it like just unraveled in him what he was actually doing this for, why he started this thing in the first place, and what actually fucking really excites him. And truthfully, and he knows who, I won't actually say his name, but he knows who he is. He's kind of been winging it.
Yeah.
He's kind of been winging it in business. Okay, love him dearly. He's been winging it in business this time because it didn't really light that spark in him. There wasn't an alignment with what he was truly capable of, right? And truly wants to do. So I said, you saw me, right? I said, all right, now that you know all this, I'm not going to like hover over you while you think about it. I'm going to leave. I'm going to get some fruit salads and bring them back. By the time I get back, you'll show me what you've made, right? And fuck, when I got back, the guy was standing up. He was like, oh, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to have an app. All that. And so bang,
bless.
and then bang. He goes, bang. He goes, I know what I want to do now. He goes, I want to be like the father figure for these kids because a lot of them don't have that. And they don't have that strong masculine father figure, right? And like we just happen to be really good rugby players.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And it's just like, my God. And now he's doing Saturday and Sunday, non-negotiables. He's doing everything now.
You think that his home life isn't better, his money's not going to be better, like his mental health,
He keeps asking me to come back to the office.
I love it. Like I love it so much. That's really cool.
So, team, I just want to get across this message that stop playing small, okay? We are giving you full permission, the courage, the bravery, and this isn't for people that are hovering at just break it. This is like you might have one studio, you might have 13 studios already, but you're just not sure what your next step is. 10x it. Whatever you're thinking, crank it. 10x it, because I guarantee you, you need this, your team need this, your home life needs this, and I'll tell you what, probably the world needs it.
Everyone who believes in you, and even those who don't.
You're going to be able to achieve a lot more than you realize. So just fucking back yourself. Yeah.
So,
and can I just say two more things? I'm going to anyway. 10x thinking.
Say 10 more things.
I'll come back.
Dozer believes in this so much, it's his number plate.
True story.
And a question for the group. Maybe it does for you, but like, did this come naturally to you or I? To 10x think?
No.
That's
what I'm saying. Yeah,
Negative fucking Nancy over here. I used to be the biggest victim.
Oh, seriously.
And you're wired, you're wired to ask a lot of questions to hold the process.
I'm wired to worst case scenario. Yeah.
Like, so don't think that just because you're a certain way that this can't be you.
Let's unpack that actually, because like, if it's not what comes naturally to you, like, okay, so rationally, I get it. If someone's listening in the car, rationally, I get it.
What the fuck do I do about it?
My fucking head.
Yeah. This is what they call the work, which I hate. But like, the first thing is you need to get yourself around the right people, friends, mentors and coaches, even family. Like, just limit the conversations you're having that aren't actually going to support you with who you're becoming. 2, be, do, have. If you want something, don't just say, I'm going to, when I'm a millionaire, then I'll act like a millionaire. Act like a millionaire and then make it happen. And I would also say, you've got to bring the self-awareness. Like, you've got to clock yourself. And if you need a coach to be able to do that, then do that. If you need someone who's going to be strong with you, not be a yes man or woman and will hold you to standards, then find those people. That's how I've done it. Like, not perfect, but you can find so many resources on YouTube. Like, you just have to decide. Like, you can actually just do an audit yourself. Like, where am I acting like a victim in my life? What is it that I keep saying I have no control over, but I might be contributing to? What do I say I hate in others, but I actually probably am a mirror for? Like, start taking ownership, because otherwise you already know what it looks like if you don't.
Big thing for both of us, me especially, was, you know, our coach is a guy called Dan Martell, right? And just being in Dan's world, being in his orbit, like being in a bigger room. And a big thing he does every coaching calls, he prompts everyone with wins. And quite often he might be on his boat in the Caribbean or flying around to a retreat or private jetting somewhere. Like, it's pretty obvious where he's going as a person, as a businessman. He's launching a new thing, a new app. He's in his boardroom. He's walking around his office. He's spiraling up big time, right? But then, yeah, everyone in his community is sort of shouting out their wins. And like, when we started, we were, it was 18 months ago. Our business was in a very different position than what it's in currently. And we were just in awe of some of these numbers that people were posting. But, like, we didn't get like jealous or like defensive about it. It's like, okay, great. That is what's possible. And like, we've got the same resources as everyone, literally as everyone in this room. We've got the same resources at our fingertips. So if that person can do it and that person can do it,
why not us?
Why not us? Yeah, why not us? So that was like, yeah, getting in bigger circles, and like that's just seeing what is possible in front of you. It was a big thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's circles, it's the people and the frequency that you choose to tune into, and it's you. Do something about it.
All right, love you guys. Connect thinking. See you in the next episode.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode. If something resonated with you, then do one of two things. Either leave a review or send this episode to a mate who's in the industry who might need to hear this. But if you want more right now, because your head might be spinning and you're like, all right, what the hell do I do right now? Then in the show notes, you'll find a link to where you can book in for a free 15-minute checkup on your studio, where we get to have a look at how you're going right now and where some of the kind of quick win opportunities are to get you moving faster. I can't wait to be back in your ears next week. And if you're listening to this right now, I want you to know that I love you, I appreciate you, I'm grateful for you, and I'm in your corner. You are on the right track and I believe in you. So keep going, and I'll see you next week.